Ok, action. Xin chào mọi người, Vlon đây và rất vui được gặp mọi người hôm nay. Và đây là một người bạn của mình, Orsen. Và hôm nay chúng mình sẽ nói về chủ đề làm sao để du lịch tiết kiệm nhất có thể. Và bởi vì anh bạn này không biết nói tiếng Việt nên chúng mình sẽ nói tiếng Anh ở đây. Và yên tâm, mình sẽ để phụ đề tiếng Việt, tiếng Anh ở dưới nên mình mừng. Alright, so what's up everybody? How lucky I am to be here with Orsen. So, Orsen, can you introduce yourself to my friends?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, my name is Orsen from my, I also have a YouTube channel called Worldly Nomadic, and I've been traveling for about 2 years now. I used to live in Vietnam vô địch.
Yeah, Vietnam's
Vietnam
great,
vô địch.
Yeah, it's great, man. Do you love Vietnam?
Love Vietnam.
Yeah, like...
and I lived there 1 year in Da Nang City. And while living in Vietnam, I traveled to maybe 10 different cities, all the way from Hanoi down to Ho Chi Minh and almost every city in between. So I have a lot of experience with Vietnam, and I really love banh mi. This is probably my favorite Vietnamese food, banh mi, and also khao lao, a local cuisine to Hoi An in Middle Vietnam. So that's my favorite Vietnamese cuisine, and I'm excited to speak about this topic today with you guys.
So today we're gonna talk about how to travel cheap on a budget. So we're gonna break it down into the small part. The first part is how you actually get to the destination, and the second is your accommodation, and the last one is the food and the other expenses. Now look, we are not trying to be so cheap, or we are not trying to save every single penny. The idea is you can spend less money on some certain area, so you can end up going on more cheap, you can end up going to the cool destination instead of going to the beach for a week and spend $1,000 on an expensive hotel. Okay, the first part is how you actually get to the destination. Everyone has own way to get a service that actually gives you the best ride. So Orsen, like since the last time you go travel, like how did you get the flight ticket?
Well, whenever I'm looking for flight tickets, I use a website called skyscanner.com, and it basically checks the prices of flight tickets across every website on the internet. So it's really the best one to use for plane tickets. And I honestly just use Google a lot. If you just Google, your city, say if you live in Hanoi and you want to go to Da Nang, you can Google Hanoi to Da Nang. And because Google is such a massive website, it's going to give you a list of prices, and it's going to show you which companies have the best prices and what the amenities are, and like the special rewards you can have. So maybe if you're going to pay less, you're not going to get like an extra meal in flight or something, or if you pay more, you might get like more leg room. So you have to know yourself as a traveler. You need to know, are you like a basic traveler, or do you want something a little more? If we're talking about how to save money, then you're of course going to be able to see exactly what is the cheapest way to go from your destination, and you're going to have to learn to live more minimally. So not so much luxury when you're saving money, but that's the trade-off.
Just when it comes to everything, Google is the best. And one thing I just discovered that there are maybe different in price between a major airports and small hometown airports. Like for example, there are two kind of airports equally distant to your destination, and absolutely you will get a better price when you choose to go the bigger one. So keep in mind that a bigger airport is a better idea. And you should also avoid to go in the weekend on Thanksgiving Day or before Tet holiday, because a lot of people go to there and the price will go higher.
Exactly. And if you're ever looking to get like taxis maybe from the airport, I've used this app called Grab a lot in Vietnam, and this app is actually in a lot of countries throughout Asia. So you can use something like Grab, and you're not going to ever get overcharged for taxis, especially if you're traveling to a new country and the currency is different, or the money is different, and you don't really understand it. You can just use the Grab app and get to your destination that way, and so you're going to be saving some money on like taxi transportation fees, or if you use Google Maps, certain towns also have buses. Like in Da Nang, I used to take a bus from Da Nang to Hoi An for only 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the taxi would be like 200,000. So sometimes I would just take the bus, and you know, that was a cheap way to travel from one city to the other and have a great weekend in Hoi An. So that's one tip. If you're in Da Nang and you want to go to Hoi An, there is a bus for only 20,000.
The second thing is accommodation. Like there are like so many options available to you. Like a hotel. I'm not a big fan of hotel. I'm not going to spend like 1,000 a week to stay in a hotel. So averagely you have to spend like 200 or 300 a night. And personally, I'm a student, so I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. So we now in a hostel, like a relative inexpensive hostel. I just have to pay 5 NT, like a 15 US dollar for a bed one night, and Orsen is renting a single room because he want like personal space for his job. So I don't know how much you will pay, but it's quite inexpensive. It's quite cheap. So
sure, yeah, this room was 900 NT, so that's a little less than 30 US dollars. You know, for a private room, which is it's a good deal for Taiwan. I know in Vietnam, however, I used to basically stay in like resorts for $30 a night. Yeah, you would get really nice rooms in Vietnam for $30 a night. And yeah, one of my favorite places in Hoi An was this nice resort, and it had this huge buffet breakfast. Yeah, that's a good thing about this spot. We get a breakfast too. It's included, and you know, if you're trying to find out where the best accommodation is, you can always look through different applications. So I use several apps like hotels.com, booking.com, agoda.com, and they also have the phone apps where you can see price differences. If you're looking at the same hotel or hostel, if you're, you know, just traveling on the cheap, hostels are going to be the way to go. In Vietnam, you could get a good hostel for $5 a night, a little more than 100,000 dong. But if you're coming to Taiwan, it's probably going to be anywhere from $10 to $15, which is it's a good deal for this market. But if you're traveling and you're staying in hotels, it can actually get really expensive because Taiwan has a high level of class. Actually, some of the hotels can be quite luxurious, but you're gonna have to start paying like $200 US per night, and that's just a lot of money. You know, even for me, just kind of doing some teaching and YouTube. And I think for most people that's a lot of money. So if you're looking to, you know, save money on the cheap, definitely go into these apps. You can search by price. So what I like to do is put the lowest price first. Then you can see, you know, if you think that it's a high enough quality, because you don't really want to give up the quality. It's actually pretty terrible to stay in a place which is like dirty and disgusting. But if you look at the reviews, that's key, because if a place is not clean, it's not going to stay on these apps very long because everyone's writing reviews all the time. And so you can look at the reviews and see, oh, is this a clean place? Is it a good location? Because you also don't want to be just like hours away from the city center, you know, which is where maybe the night markets happen, the nightlife, the culture. So definitely check out the search function in these applications.
yeah, like the honest case, I have to choose to stay in hotel. Like when I go to the country, like pretty cheap, which the government is not stable, right? Like it's better than to stay in a reputable hotel than to stay in someone's house. And I think hostel is a suitable option for young people like me, 20 or 30 something. I'm living in a room which is multiple bed. I'm living with a random people, but it's okay. We can make friends, and maybe we can go with each other to the next trip.
Cut.
So the last part is the fruit and other expensive. So Orsen, what did we eat today?
So today here in Taichung, Taiwan, we just got here. It's our first day, and after exploring the area for a couple of hours, we decided to go get something to eat. And while walking around, we saw a local restaurant. And the good thing about local restaurants is that you're gonna get more of a genuine eating experience, and typically the cost is going to be lower compared to something like a fancy restaurant or maybe something like a well-known brand like a KFC or something. And so if you go to one of these local restaurants, I highly recommend trying that when you're traveling. You could also go to certain convenience stores if you're trying to just save money and you're not worried too much about the food, because it's going to be a lower cost. They're going to be everywhere, and you can kind of just get food whenever you want, wherever you want, and there's going to be like kind of the same things wherever you travel. So in Taiwan we have 7-Eleven pretty much all around the country, so you know that you could always go and just grab like a sandwich for like $1 or $2 or you know, get a quick drink for just like $1, you know, like 20-30,000 Vietnam dong.
Yeah, you don't need to go to the fancy restaurant and pay $100 for a Japanese meal. What you need to do is go to find some local restaurant, and they actually gonna give you the local meal. And anything local is something you should experience when you go to the new place.
That's right. Yeah, and with the other expenses, you know, while you're traveling, you're going to want to be experiencing things. Yeah, so like Taipei 101, you have to get a ticket, and like today we went to a night market, and you know, we were just walking around, and there's actually a lot of interesting things in night markets. There's great souvenirs, so if you're just traveling, you can get souvenirs for your family and loved ones. They're really going to appreciate that when you go to a new country, because when you're thinking of them and you're away from them, it shows that you know, you're remembering them and care about them, and that really means a lot to close friends and family members. So you're going to be able to find nice souvenirs in somewhere like a night market, and you know, like today we were just walking around and we were taking a bunch of samples, and there was this one delicious bread we got, which was almost like a banh mi style bread, but it had this kind of sweet butter in it. And honestly, sometimes I don't even buy it if I try the sample. I just want to try the sample, you know. But that's the key thing about Taiwan, is they love to give samples. And this woman's lucky, because I wasn't gonna buy that bread if I didn't try that sample, and it was a delicious sample. So we like bought some snacks in the night markets, and you know, buying things like postcards, maybe even clothes. You know, clothes is another big part of culture. When you go to a new country, everything looks different, and you might want to, you know, like in Vietnam, I have friends who go to Vietnam and they want to rent the ao dai, because it's more of a traditional symbol in Vietnam, and they want to take a nice photos, and so that's another unique way that people might be spending money. Just a lot of different expenses might pop up, or a lot of opportunities, you could say. Also, tours are another big thing when you go to a new country. If you want to see a lot of things in a short amount of time, you can book a tour. And sometimes there's even free walking tours where you can go and just donate what you can. So even if you just donate, you know, a couple dollars, most tour guides would be, you know, really happy with that. And then you can again get more of a local experience in the country that you're visiting, and you're going to be able to learn a lot more information that maybe you know, most tourists who just stay inside the hotel or the luxury resort might not know. And so even though we're paying less money, we're actually getting a fuller experience and a more genuine authenticity of the country.
Yeah, right. I can wait to go outside and try the Taiwanese street food. So it's time we go out right now. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. I hope you guys can save money when go traveling. So it's okay.